Sunshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer. And a beautiful Monday morning it is, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into Sunshine's Corner. Trust that you had a wonderful weekend. As we enter into a brand new week of hopefully there's truly going to be something different. I don't know what it is, Jerry, but I'm feeling such a weight on me today. I am feeling such a heaviness on me today. Yeah. It just started out that way. I think it's because, and I'm just so real, I'm very transparent when it comes to me. I'm not good at hiding. I'm not good at covering up. And it's so much, even when I was on my way to work this morning, it's just so much that I hear, that I see, and I hear so many forked tongues. You understand what I'm saying? But let me welcome Mr. Jerry McIntosh, who's the Vice President of Movement for Change, in with us today. And we are hopeful that we've had a few technical difficulties with our Zoom guest that's going to be a guest in town this weekend. Right. But we can talk about him, you know, when we got something good to say. And Jerry, thank you for all that you do and your consistency. With all of the consistency that you have, that you do in our city, I appreciate the fact that you are steadfast and working toward making change. And that's even with the organization that you're with, Movement for Change. Yeah. I can only say I greatly appreciate all the hard work you do and the things that you try to enlighten us about that we need to take part of, to be a part of, so that we can be that difference that we need to make in our community. Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you for, thank you, and thank you for having me this morning.
But of course.
Because it's so important that we inform people. You know, most people don't know the media is the fourth of state. They have the first seat at history.
That's right.
You know, to record and to disseminate that history back to the people.
Right.
So that you know, and that's the way it's supposed to be.
Say that one more time. Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be. Exactly.
But the media have become complicit in many times in the downfall of people and the countries that they are supposed to be informing people about. And I saw that in 2016 when the media gave over $2 billion worth of free advertising to Donald Trump, as sometime when you would see Hillary Clinton speaking, they would just cut and go straight to Donald Trump because it was a big money maker for the media. Now the media is the enemy of the people, you know, according to the president. And so the media in its complicity caused its own downfall and people not to believe and to you know, take interest in the media. And the younger people are totally turned off. And most instances they get their information from Instagram, from Facebook, and TikTok and things of that nature.
Right.
It's not
but
always.
I base that on some of the things that like I say, with the untruth that's being told.
Right, exactly.
It's all the untruth that's being told, and they're not going to put up with that because the untruth, and it's there in your face when it's not true.
Right, and even at that, they are getting a lot of false and misinformation from those platforms as well, because there are people who are using the AI and other things to make people believe that these things are real. And people are talking about the deep state. Well, when you go into, there's a deep undercurrent in social media, where people are feeding people disinformation, causing violent conscience for people to react. As you know, a couple of people was shot. There was politicians in this weekend.
This past weekend, exactly.
Yeah, because from the top down, there's a violent attitude toward the American public. And I heard the sheriffs telling people that, you know, if you're out there protesting, something happened, you're going to be graveyard dead.
And either you're going to be into an orthopedic because you're going to be going to get your hands done because all your hands going to be messed up.
Yeah.
How can that portray anything positive when it's going that way?
And that is in itself escalating rather than, you know, bringing down the temperature of America. And you're looking at the first salvo of a civil war in the country because of the I would say the ignorance of the leadership in this country. One thing James Baldwin said, ignorance and power mixed together is two dangerous things to mix.
That's right.
So we are seeing this take place all over the country.
And I gotta say to you, and I want to say to our viewers today, and I want to say this, it may sound repetitious to you, or the repetition that's being done here on this show, but things that I think that we have to continue to say it over and over and over so that it will stick to see the importance of it. If it was not important, I wouldn't even go that way.
Right.
And you understand what I'm saying? But the importance of it now today, I think that what has me so agitated at this stage in my life, at this stage in my life, I'm still experiencing and feeling what I'm feeling. Where I thought I had overcome that, but which it was a lie, but it's still there.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's gonna be there. It's just now metastasizing itself because there are those who are pushing some of the most negative things the country has ever seen. It's been that way, but it had.
It's okay to do it now.
Yeah, it
feels like it's okay.
Yeah, publicly.
Exactly. With your event that's coming up this weekend, Movement for Change. Movement for Change. I mean, that name right there says a lot. Yeah. Movement for Change. We're still moving. I mean, when it was, I remember when I first relocated here to Florida, when I met the gentleman who really organizer of this this
Leroy
movement,
Boyd.
Mr. Leroy Boyd. I can remember that, and I've been here a number of years now, and we're still moving for change.
Yeah, it's 28 years.
28 years. I haven't been there 28 years yet, but it has been an organization that works. And until I think we can overcome that person in the mirror.
Right.
Until we can look in the mirror, reevaluate yourself.
Exactly.
Until you can look in that mirror and evaluate yourself and stop lying. I'm calling a spade because I see it so often that it burns me up.
Right.
But until we can do that, we will be doing movement for change until we can't get no more movement. You understand what I'm saying? And the gentleman that's coming in this weekend, I hate that we have the connection that we couldn't get him on today because I think he's going to be a fantastic speaker this weekend that's coming up. And Mr. Genesis, I love his name.
Yeah, Genesis Robinson.
Genesis Robinson. Genesis means the beginning. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I love that fact that he's coming in and but he is a political strategist.
Right. He's
Want to move to Pensacola?
He's a political strategist, a community organizer with Equal Ground in Daytona Beach, but it's throughout the state of Florida.
Right.
And he works also with people in D.C. and other places, just with different organizations like our organization. We work with Equal Ground, Black Voters Matter, just a whole host of organizations that we work with, NAACP,
right.
And throughout the state we meet people all the time,
right.
Because the strategies have changed a lot as far as protests. Now you need legislation that's, with lawyers.
Right.
Because it used to be that, our protests would bring attention to it. Then we had people at the table negotiating. But now the tables have been turned, on the people.
When you say that, I want to ask you this question. But when it comes to now with protests, now that when you see like this weekend,
right,
it just wasn't people of color.
Right. It was people from every walk of life.
It was more others than us.
Yeah, and the thing about it, the righteous white people who are out there protesting understand democracy. The theme of our banquet, dictatorship, democracy or dictatorship.
Right.
We got to make a choice in this country.
Exactly.
And how we make that choice is going to determine whether we have a democracy or not.
Exactly.
And I see that the white brothers and sisters in many instances are beginning to wake up because they realize if we have no voice, and we showed them how to do these protests, we have led the country in protest,
right.
righteous protest, nonviolent protest, even though the provocateurs that was hired by government officials come in and to help destroy it, we were still nonviolent. We never stopped.
Never ever were we violent.
Yeah, because we wanted to see change. And our foreparents before us, who many have died in this struggle, was looking out for our future, for us to be able to sit on a platform like this, to talk about the issues about
that's affecting our community so strongly.
Right.
And Jerry, when you say that, it just I don't know why is it today, but I don't know, it's something on me that's so heavy. I can't explain it. I'm going back to my mother now. She used to say, "Now, babe, I'm feeling something." You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is, but it feels like I'm just so heavy. And it's so emotional to feel that way, because I think it was all driven, it was derived as I was coming to work. And this is what I do when I'm in my car. Boop, boop, boop. I just click, 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 click. And the things that I was hearing that was putting me in such a bad mood. You know what I'm saying? I don't care which button I hit, it was something said. But it was all nothing positive. It was all negative.
And that's where we are at in the country in many instances, because that's the way people want us to feel disconnected, disenchanted with each other. I was reading, and I don't know how true it is, but I'm pretty sure that these people, I know you heard of Malcolm Nance and others who is telling the African American community we can no longer sit back and watch as the Hispanic people get rolled over.
Amen.
And what he was saying, they what was it, Marlowe, who said they came first for the laborers. I wasn't a labor person. They came for somebody else. I wasn't that person. And then when they came for me, and there was no one to speak for me.
Right. And
it's a memo out, and like I say, I don't know how true it is, and I haven't, really talked to anybody to verify. But he said after they get through humiliating the Hispanic people, in 14 to 16 months, they were going to come to start humiliating black people.
They've been humiliating us for years.
For years, yeah.
I mean, come on now, let's get real. They've been humiliating us so long until now it's like a thing. But my thing is, how it bothers me is that if when I see the things that are going on and the things that are happening, that a person, I've had to delete so many people off my page. I'm being real. I've had to delete so many because of so many things that I didn't think the way people thought. But they do.
Oh yeah, the thoughts of people, you never know. You never know how people are thinking about you and what they're saying about you. And you really can't let that stop you.
Okay, you just said something to me that I needed to hear, because I feel like it's throwing up my hands.
No, you can't let that stop you, because you got to think about our forefathers, our ancestors who was packed in ships.
Right.
The ones, the strong survived. The strongest survived, mentally and physically, but they were mentally strong. Many of the other was not mentally strong, so they jumped off the ships. And that's why you say the sharks followed the ships.
Right.
Because they would know they were going to get plenty of food. Then after we got to shores, beaten to the point of death, and children separated from parents and all of that. But we still survived. We still was mentally strong.
Exactly.
We was physically beaten down, but our mental capacity was still intact. The history of our people is to always, in the face of adversity and disenchantment, is to keep moving.
Right. With your banquet that's coming,
that
keeps you motivated. And then sometimes, and when I tell you, when you get to a point, it's like you just want to say, really? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, as I used to tell people, say, okay, I'll play Wilhelmina Foo for you for a while, but don't think I'm Wilhelmina Foo. That's the name I came out with. I said, don't think I'm Wilhelmina Foo.
I'll tell you. And before we go to break, Frederick Douglass said, if there's no struggle, there's no progress.
Amen.
And he said there must be a struggle if you're going to progress.
Right.
He said power concedes nothing without a demand. It never has and never will. And that means we're in a struggle to the day we die. Not only with others, but with ourselves as well. Because you're in a struggle with principalities that you
can't do nothing.
You can't do that.
Exactly.
Go to the power that created us all.
Exactly. I see. Let's go to break, Jerry. We're talking today with Mr. Jerry McIntosh. He's the Vice President of Movement for Change. They've got their annual Freedom is Not Free banquet coming up this Friday. And we're going to talk more about that and the great speaker that's going to be coming in talking to us to inspire us to become not what we say we are, but to be who we say we are. That was good. Until we come back with more, stay with us. I want you to be a part of this conversation as well at 850-432-7768. That's the number to call, or you can text 850-432-7768. We'll be back with more right here on Sunshine's Corner.
Good day, Pensacola. Welcome to a new segment on health and wellness sponsored by Baptist Healthcare in partnership with Sunshine's Corner. Every first Wednesday of the month during Sunshine's telecast, we're going to be bringing you information about health and wellness and ways to make sure we're improving the quality of your health care here in Pensacola. After all, we want to ensure that you're going to the right place at the right time and for the right reason, and that you don't feel alone. Can't wait to see you.
From the efficiency of American natural gas and the dependability of nuclear power, to the strength of Florida's sunshine and the flexibility of advanced battery storage systems, we leverage a diverse mix of energy sources to power our growing state, ensuring reliable, low-cost power for your home or business whenever you need it. FPL, working for you every single day.
Many who consider facial plastic surgery are concerned their results will look unnatural. But with over 20 years of serving the Pensacola community, his thousands of satisfied patients have made Dr. Derek Jones a trusted reconstructive and facial plastic surgeon known for industry-leading results that look natural. Call 850-484-FACE to schedule a consultation at one of our locations in Pensacola and Gulf Breeze.
I'm Dr. Derek Jones. Trust your face to a facial plastic surgeon.
At Pensacola Habitat for Humanity, we believe every child should have a safe place to grow. That's why we work with you and the community to build not just a house, but a home.
She worked very hard to get this house. I really appreciate that because, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here right now.
When you help build a home, you build a future. Pensacola Habitat for Humanity.
And welcome back to this Monday edition of Sunshine's Corner. We're talking with Mr. Jerry McIntosh. He is the Vice President of Movement for Change. Get ready for the, what number is it?
28th annual.
28th annual, long time. 28th annual Freedom is Not Free banquet that's going to be held this Friday at It's Personal by Sheila. And you can still get your tickets by calling Jerry.
Yeah. Or you can pay at the door.
Or you can pay at the door, whichever you like. But just make sure you do this. Come on out and be a part of this event that they've taken such time in. And it's an annual event because I know I've attended several.
Yeah.
And it is very, very good information to see us coming together.
Right.
For one common cause.
Right. And the thing about it, the ticket money that we get, it goes directly to running our building.
Oh, but of course.
Everything and all the information that we put out is for that.
Exactly. It's not a fun thing that you're doing. No, it's all because it's something that's needed.
Yeah, and anytime you're working in civil rights, people think, oh, it's something easy. It's not.
No.
It's you sacrificing to do these things you're sacrificing family and other things that you could be doing as well outside of that.
Right.
But you make the sacrifice because I do it because I got grandchildren and great grandchildren.
Exactly.
And I want them to have a better life than that was like my parents.
Exactly.
They left me a better life than they had.
Exactly.
And it's coming upon us to do the same. When we see bills being passed in Congress that's cutting education.
Yes, Lord.
That's cutting Medicare and Medicaid. You think about your grandmother or your mother or yourself.
One day you're going to be there.
Yeah, or your disabled child.
That's right.
They're cutting these funds for that in this bill.
Exactly.
This bill is so draconian that it will do damage years after it is passed.
Right.
Because it has a trigger component in it that if the debt goes so high, this thing would trigger even more cuts to Medicare and Medicaid
right.
and FEMA, all these things that we need, veterans benefits, you name it. Right now, veterans benefits been cut while we spend millions on a parade. You see.
I know where you're going.
Yeah. Talking about cutting Social Security and raising the Social Security age to 70. That means the average person may not, I know people, they might not live to be 70,
Exactly. But let me ask you a question, Jerry. When you talk about, because I know that you do a lot of work and you do a lot of research in this area, what does it mean for a leader in democracy to believe like a king? And you know where I'm going.
Yeah, it's a real insult to democracy. It's it's counterintuitive
right.
to what we supposed to be about in America.
Right.
When I hear someone say, if you protest in Washington D.C., Washington D.C. is, and the capital is like the citadel of America, of power. But when you say the people can't protest because I'm having a parade, no.
Come on, man.
That's un-American.
But I say this, that the American people came and showed out.
Yeah.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, but the American people showed that they were not afraid to protest, that they were not afraid to use their rights and their power that they have, the right to protest, the right to assemble, the right to speak, and that's the thing I think the press should have been pushing harder and showing the American people, those who think that things have gone so far wrong that they have lost interest in our country. The country survives on people power, and that's how America, and the trust and the feeling that they have in that democracy that is going to be there for them and their children years after they are gone. And so that's what the struggle is all about. It's about making sure that we have those things left that the forefathers put into place. I can't remember whether it was Franklin, one of them, that said, we've given you a republic if you can keep it.
I hear you.
If you can keep it. So,
let me ask you this, going from there, Jerry, what about this? In what ways do movements like the No Kings at this past weekend, help hold elected officials accountable?
And that's the thing about it. The people were showing those elected officials that even though you voting for these things, we got you in the next election.
Exactly.
You will not be there in the next election because you're cutting benefits to my children.
Right.
See, people when they hear WIC programs, SNAP programs, and all of that, they are thinking of a certain color, because
they think that it affects black people the most, and we are not the ones that are affected with the most, we're the least.
Yeah, we are. But the people that benefit from social service the most are our white sisters and brothers. And I don't think they know it, but because the media have transported it to us.
Right.
You know, they have
but why
for
do you think
years.
they paint that picture to try to make them think that it's all about us?
Because
when I say that, if they're trying to paint a picture that to make it look as if it's us, but what is the fear of them to having to paint that picture?
Right, and so this is what has happened over the centuries now. Negative pictures have been painted of the African American community, starting after the Civil War. It was done before that, but it metastasized after the Civil War.
Right.
And when black men and women was elected to office overwhelmingly out of the South and other places, that's when the newspapers began to really ramp up the negative about black people, saying, you know, there was a movie that was shown in the White House that showed black men and with their feet up on the dancing on the, not that movie, but that was the paper.
Of course.
But the movie, I can't think of the name of it right now, that was shown in the White House, showed black men chasing and raping white women and all of that.
Paint a bad picture.
Yeah.
But why do you think, well, what I'm trying to say is that this is something that's been happening for years and years to come. And now it's yet feel that it's being brought out even more so now than it was 10, 15 years ago. And is the effect that, is there a fear there of what the black community offers?
Well, and I don't know what the fear could be, you know, because we have shown America that we were willing to integrate into America and become a part of America. Our culture, we never gave up. We never gave up our culture because our culture is American culture.
Right.
Because everybody around the world copy our culture and then repackage and resell it to everybody else, including us, sell it back to us. You know, it's like our music, our dance, and all that. Everything is cultural, driven among us. But our intellect is there also. You know, our intellectual cultural part of it. We've through research, and this is why college. You know, college used to be free. Most people don't realize that college was free.
Part of mine was.
Yeah, until black people, they started allowing black people to go to college. Once, you know, in other colleges besides HBCUs.
Exactly.
Then that's when the tuition skyrocketed.
Out the roof.
And the thing about it, it wasn't a whole lot of black people at that time going into college at that level.
Right.
But it did just hurt black people by the skyrocketing tuition. It hurt whites as well.
Exactly.
Especially poor whites.
With all of the work that you do, all of the research that you do, that you've been working with Movement for Change for how long now? What?
28 years.
28 years? That's a long time. But what you have found out and what you see today with the progression and what I see that happens every day in the community, what I hear that I see that's happening in the world, what is it that we as a community can do to come together to get back, and I'm going to take it back to what I can remember as a child when I was coming up with with Dr. King, the togetherness that was there. We don't have that anymore. Why can't we go back to that foundation of having that same togetherness? They fought for the good of the community together if it took losing their lives. If it took just so they can get us to the part where we are. If you remember the speech when Dr. King said that, you know, when he said that he had seen across the mountaintop, right?
Yeah.
That he wasn't gonna get there, but if he was awake now and seeing us regressing like we are, what am I saying to you? With you and all the work that you do, with all of the research that you do, and I see more people that look like me, talk one thing, and your hand doing something else. How can we combat that to prove the point that togetherness is what's going to get us there. Even Jesus said, let me say one more thing. Even Jesus said that, okay?
Right.
He said, now you're going to lay down this cross, pick it up and follow me. But it's going to be some things, it's going to have to be us together, as I paraphrase.
Right.
And I think what breaks my heart, maybe what I was listening to this morning that had me so, when I walked in, I just felt so, is the fact that I hear, but I see. And the same people that are saying that we are, but you're taking us in a different direction. Why?
Right, and money is a powerful tool as well.
Buddy.
And, and that's why you have to have.
Buddy sister.
You have to have resources to match resources.
Right.
Other than that, the resources that other people have can just swamp you. And this is like, okay, it's just like when we see, all of the things that's being thrown out on the American people from Washington, D.C., all of the cuts, all of the other stuff, just constant. You flood the market so that people don't know which way to go.
Exactly.
And that's what is being done. It's being done in our community as well.
But can our community see, I know we got to go to break, but if I can see it, little old country girl, from right up there, born and raised in Alabama, down there in the country can see it.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
But see, so many people have tuned out because they see a lack of leadership in our community in many instances. And even those they see, they distrust because they've been burnt probably, or they've been told something and it didn't come to fruition. But what I try to do is get information that they can go and research themselves and see for yourself.
And make that change. We got to go to break, Jerry. I tell you, because once I get started, it's hard to stop. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking with Mr. Jerry McIntosh. He's the Vice President of Movement for Change. Got their 28th annual banquet that's coming up on Friday night. We're going to talk to you about freedom is not free yet, right here. Caller, stay close. We're going to be back with you on Sunshine's Corner.
You finally found the perfect car in racing blue. You even got them to throw in the LED fog lights for free. Auto Owners insures your car because some people never learn to parallel park. That's simple human sense.
Ask the Messick Insurance Agency in Pensacola if auto owners make sense for you.
Keep going, more. No, stop!
Come see us at Royal Appliance Outlet. We have refrigerators, washers and dryers, stoves, beautiful furniture from all of your name brands that you know and trust. Samsung, Whirlpool, Frigidaire, and GE, all at discount prices. Come visit us today at 1612 Pace Boulevard. You're gonna love our easy credit to help you bring all of your favorite furniture home. Come visit Royal Appliance Outlet.
It's baseball season. From heart-stopping plays to legendary victories, this is baseball at its finest. Grab your seat, bring your energy, and witness greatness live. Don't just watch it, feel it. The Pensacola Blue Wahoos are back, and you can watch Pensacola Blue Wahoos home games live on Fridays and Saturdays, only on Blab TV. Love the Blue Wahoos but can't watch? Get your tickets now.
The Emerald Coast Utilities Authority's state-of-the-art materials recycling facility processes recyclables for communities throughout the region, lowering need for more landfills. This highly efficient recycling service accepts glass, paper, cardboard, plastics, aluminum, and more. But we need your help. Please make sure your recyclables are clean of garbage, food, and liquids. Also, please remember that plastic shopping bags, foam products, or yard waste are not recyclable. To learn more, go to livegreenecua.com.
This Monday edition of Sunshine's Corner, we talk with Mr. Jerry McIntosh, who is a strong advocate right here in our community, and we appreciate him so sharing, always so willingly to share the information. But we've got a phone call that we've been waiting. We got to go onto the phone, see what this. See, we won't keep him any longer. Okay, maybe if I push that button, it'll come up right. Good morning.
Good morning, Sunshine. This is Drusilla. Good morning, Mr. McIntosh. Thank you for continuing to carry the mantle and the torch of what you and your wife started. I remember her work with young girls. So we see you're doing a great work, and continue that. With that being said, I try to do a lot with young people, Sonshine. You ended your last statement with that people see the shift. I think that with young people, they don't see the shift because they don't understand the shift. And when I try to tell them that things are changing, and they're making comments like, I know my rights, and I often tell them, no, you don't, because you don't understand, first of all, what your rights were.
Right.
And a lot of them don't know the history of how people of color were treated years ago. Excuse me. With that being said, Mr. McIntosh, what are your efforts and what are your thoughts and comments and reflections regarding the changes we're seeing now as it pertains to young people on all levels, education, the judicial system, financially, et cetera? And I'll be quiet and so that I can listen to you. Again, thank you for the work that you're doing, and continue to labor, because it's not in vain.
Thank you, Drusilla.
Now, I don't want anybody to think that the young people are not. There are many, many young people out there doing a lot of great things. And they are, I know people like Derek and Jill.
Oh, yeah, Derek Scott.
Yeah, just a whole host of young people who have come up through the ranks and have proven themselves to be just total great people. Those are just a couple people that I just call their name personally, but there's so many more that are doing things around the country, but there's not enough.
Exactly, because we don't hear from them enough.
We don't hear from them, and they don't have the platforms a lot of times. They on social media. And I follow a lot of young people that are doing great things. That are
I follow TikTok like crazy.
And then they are building like new Wall Streets around the country. There's one in Atlanta. These are young people that are really, really making things happen on a different level.
What about people here?
Well, there are young people here that are doing a lot of things. Like I call Derek and them, they all live here. But there's not enough.
I got you.
Yeah, but then there's not enough elderly people who are doing it either. They're kind of laid back and not participating. Even if you don't participate, you have to help finance.
Exactly. It's more ways to participate than another.
Yeah,
than just one. We got two calls, Gary.
Okay.
I guess these people don't want to talk to you today. Good morning.
Good morning, Sonshine. Good morning, Jerry. How y'all doing?
Good morning.
Wonderful.
How are you?
Yes, I wanted to call and ask Jerry, the movie that he was thinking about, was it The Birth of a Nation that came out in 1915 that he was talking about?
Exactly.
Thank you very much. That's it. The Birth of a Nation, 1915.
Yeah, that
yes,
movie.
I just wanted to bring that up, and then I want to ask you, both of you two, how should we feel about over the weekend where all the people got together to have that No King protest across the country?
Oh, to me, it's one of the greatest movements. In this era, in this period, is one of the great movement that is taking place right now, because people see their democracy is ever fleeting.
Everybody's democracy.
Yeah, everybody is ever fleeting, and the people that's supposed to be leading the country have no interest in helping to save the country.
Absolutely.
Because they are tied up. I've talked about money before.
Right.
But big money is driving the oligarchies of this country, are the one driving force behind killing democracy.
Exactly.
If we're not very careful.
It was a success. I think there was
a
huge statement was made. Well, thank you, caller. We got other callers holding. We'll talk with you later. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye. And I tell you what, I think that there was a message that was conveyed that was really conveyed in a way that it should have been. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, I just wanted to make a comment about the subject today.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm so thankful, Sonshine, to you and to Mr. McIntosh for all that you do and for who you are. I just wanted to say that 2020 was the time of vision. I think God wanted to open up to the world what is actually going on before all, not just to a certain people, but to all people.
Right.
So sins are unmasked and being brought to the forefront. But the devil is so busy and always pulling stunts. People are tired and so overwhelmed. It's time that the devil is sent straight to hell.
Come on, girl.
The righteousness are awakened and showing they have a voice and a faith. Without togetherness, we will not win the race. We've got to come together. We've got to work. It's not just about faith, but it's about work. God wants us to do something. So let's stand together. Let's protest. Let's do whatever it is that we need to do to make a difference.
Amen.
So thank you guys so much for everything that you do.
Thank you. Thank you. And that was a beautiful point.
Right.
I mean,
Thank you.
thank you so much. And but that's the very point that I'm making, that I was trying to make, Jerry. Even though this huge impact that came up this weekend was absolutely amazing all over the country.
Right.
Everywhere.
I wanted to go back to that birth of a nation. Most people don't, most black people don't realize the birth of a nation did more to, after it was shown around the country, to destroy the character and the principles of black people in this country. It did irreparable damage that it took years for us to overcome, from that time to the civil rights movement. Before that, we was fighting for just to be human, because we had been reduced to challenge.
Right.
You know, less than an animal.
Right.
And according to how history was written. The civil rights movement changed a lot of that, because before that, you couldn't even look a white person in the eye. You know that most people don't know that. You had to walk with your head down.
What?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm glad I came along when I did.
Yeah. But you could not even walk on the same sidewalk. That's the history of America. The legends and all of that came about after birth of a nation. It metastasized itself to the point like what's happening right now.
Okay, I was going to say, is that meaning that what's happening right now? But one of the callers said that that God had to show us something that we thought we had really gotten past, but He had to let us see that was just a cover up.
Right. And the thing about it, there's always a remnant of these things, and once someone come along that can elevate it, like a president or a congressperson or a senator or a preachers, can elevate evil in the world, and people will gravitate to it. Case in point, when the two people went to the cross, the people that had been helped by the person that had been fed from the person, they chose the criminal over the righteous person.
Well, that happens so often.
Yeah, at the cross, and we saw that in the election. Here's a person with 34 criminal felonies.
Yeah.
Here's a person that had been
massacred women.
Yeah, but the person that was an intellect,
they said no.
Yeah.
But do you think
they nailed them to the cross?
There was something that Elon Musk said, that he made this statement when he shook his hand and said, I got to go. But that how he won that was by him with those computers.
Yeah, he said his Starlink program helped win this election. and the thing about it, if you go back and listen to some of the things that Trump said, you will find that he said the same thing.
Exactly.
So they were letting you know, hey, we can steal anything we want, and we can take anything we want. They have done that over and over again.
But then, Jerry, I'm not cutting you off, but when I thought, when you're saying all this powerful stuff, then why is it so hard for us to come together? We see what's happening in our face. We see what they're doing to us, or what they're trying to do to us. Why is it so hard that we'll say one thing, but we feel like we're going to do better if we want to get straddled the fence? I can lean that way. Please, they're going to get you first.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I always do. because you can't be trusted. All you got to do is look at what happened.
Trust is a major word.
Yeah, to what happened with Geronimo. Well, the trackers who were Indians that tracked him down, when they put Geronimo in prison, they put them in prison
First.
too. Yeah,
I was right there with them.
Yeah.
But I say all that to say, and with movement for change and what you do, and the movement, and I know that it has got to be that's got to be a job, 24/7. And I think about your late wife, how hard and you all were a team out of this world, man. I mean, but the fact of it is, but you're continuing to carry the torch, even with when Mr. Leroy Boyd transitioned, you're keeping the torch going. Rodney Jones, I mean, out there still working. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's going to take that. But I feel like when we get people in places that's able to do something, do it.
Yeah, and you know the thing about it, what we need a lot of research people who are willing to do the research, and it's not always easy, but it has helped to develop programs and things of that nature to make sure that our people have the wherewithal to take it to the next level.
I got you.
We need teachers who maybe are retired to help us with different things that teachers need, that they can tell us more than anybody else.
Right.
What was the problem with what did they have to confront when they were teachers? You know, we need preachers who will stand in the pulpit on Sundays and tell the people, hey, they're cutting your benefits. These benefits could affect you. They've cut money for education. They're cutting money for FEMA.
Exactly.
This is not just for black people.
That's for everybody.
This is for everybody.
Yeah, that shoe is going to fit your foot too.
Yeah, we live in places where tornadoes and hurricanes hit all the time. We got to
go to break, but even with this, now think about this. You don't even get the announcements to tell you when the storm is coming.
Right.
Come on, so what else can they take? My people perish for a lack of knowledge. My people. Knowledge is power. Once you receive the knowledge, apply it and come together. We'll be right back with more. Please, I want you to be a part of this conversation, 850-432-7768. But as you do that, never forget, we got to keep God first right here on Sunshine's Corner.
I'm Emily Echeverria, Marketing Communications Director for Council on Aging of West Florida and the host of Coming of Age. Watch our show to find out what we're doing for our seniors and their families, and hear from area experts and local business owners about their programs and services. Want to help? Find out how you can work with us to bring a better future to our seniors. Watch Coming of Age, 3:30 p.m. Wednesdays, only on Blab TV.
From the efficiency of American natural gas and the dependability of nuclear power, to the strength of Florida's sunshine and the flexibility of advanced battery storage systems, we leverage a diverse mix of energy sources to power our growing state, ensuring reliable, low-cost power for your home or business whenever you need it. FPL, working for you every single day.
Empire Truck Sales, located at 2255 West Detroit Boulevard in Pensacola, is your Freightliner, Western Star, Detroit Diesel, and Cummins dealer for Northwest Florida. Open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., Saturdays and Sundays, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., providing sales, service, and parts. Empire Truck Sales is also your Oasis dealer for Freightliner custom chassis RV and motorhome repairs. Running I-10 will get you in.
Fostering a pet for a friend or neighbor can keep families together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
Well, I think it's all about local, and I'm a big believer in local. So I think anytime you can carry a message out locally, it's important. And I think it's anytime the person that delivers the service can also deliver the message, which is unusual. You have the people that actually deliver the project doing the talking, and I think that's a huge difference, and really makes a huge value difference for the consumer. So I'm really just so grateful that we have this local opportunity with Blab TV. My name is Quint Studer, and I am Blab TV.
And welcome back to this Monday, a beautiful Monday on the outside, and so hopefully you had a great weekend. Well, coming up this week, as you know, we're going to be celebrating Juneteenth. And as I was talking to a fellow friend of mine this morning on my way in, I said, we're celebrating Juneteenth. Do we know what we're celebrating? Do we know what we're really celebrating? With the division that we have, do we understand what Juneteenth is? Instead of just saying, I got a day off.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay, like Thursday, we got the MLK parade, right?
Right.
Do you understand? You put those two together. You got the MLK parade, Dr. King who gave his life.
Yeah.
Now we just found out that you were free.
Yeah. Well, you know, the Juneteenth, people didn't know they were free in Texas, and they didn't get the message to later on. You know, that means they had worked as slaves when they should have been free.
Should have been free. But you know, I think that was purposely done.
Oh yeah, everything is.
There's a purpose behind
it. All things mostly is intentional.
That's right.
So we have to work with the same intention.
Exactly.
To free ourselves.
Exactly.
You know, one thing Bob Marley, when he was saying, he said, you know, we can, you know, anybody can free you, but nobody can free you but you for the mind.
You from your mind. I'm telling you,
free.
That's what I'm talking about. But it's so much going on there, Jerry. I think that it just blows me away because.
Yeah. And also, Martin Luther King used to say, in order for us to be free, we have to reach down in the inner resources of our own self to really be free.
Right.
You know, freedom. Nobody can really give you freedom, because there's nobody else to give except because God gave you that from birth.
Exactly.
But somebody can take you.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah, they can take you.
In a heartbeat.
They can put your body into slavery as long as they don't put your mind there. Because if your mind is not there, you can always escape. You know,
most certainly.
All you got to do is look back at Sojourner Truth. And,
oh, come on now. But you know, we got to teach
Harriet
our children all about Sojourner Truth, all about Harriet Tubman, all about Dr. King.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even with John Lewis, we got to teach our kids about that so they will know their history.
Right.
And because if you don't know where you come from,
right,
you definitely don't know where you're going.
You can't.
There's no way you can do it. Well, let's talk more about what's coming up on Friday night. We're down to the last 5 minutes. Can you believe that? See, I get carried away when there's something that bothers me on the inside. I can't help myself. But let's talk about Friday night, Movement for Change. They've got their 28th year celebration. Now, that speaks volumes within itself.
Yeah, you know, to have been the organization here for 28 years, meaning that they're committed people. Just a few people that's in our organization. One, Rita Milton, who has been there from the beginning, who have made sure that we kept the office going and all of the things that we need to get information out. We got just other people, Belinda Donaldson, Rose Williams, and just Otis. These are people in the office making sure that everything just goes straight and making sure that everything stay intact. Otis, our financial person, I have to give him, and Rose Williams, they have made our financial things just really just A1. Our board members, you know, I have to say we got one of the best boards in the world. that's just me. That's my opinion, because you know they have let us make decisions along with them that makes the thing run smoothly. But this weekend, this Friday, we are asking people to come out and support us, because we have to go now. You're not just fighting local, you're
That's
fighting
right.
in Tallahassee,
Exactly.
where legislation is being grind to the bone that's against the people of Florida. You know, all kinds of legislation that is being put out there. We don't, you know, hundreds of bills come out every year. Some of those bills are so draconian, so devastating to the people of Florida that they don't even know it, because they just, you know, they are tuned out, as I said earlier, to legislators who don't, is not representing them in their best interest, and don't come back to the community that tough to inform the people of the legislation that they are about to pass.
Exactly. Now, how people can get tickets for? Now, let's tell them about, because we're down to the last minute and a half.
Okay.
We got Friday that they can get tickets at the door.
Right.
If they would like to get the tickets, they can call you.
They can call me at 850-206-3776, or they can call the office at 850-432-4411. That's 850-432-4411. Or if they know any of the board members or Melinda, or any of those, they can get the tickets from there. We definitely got tickets out there, or they can go by, it's personal.
Right, go by Sheila's
and get some tickets.
Exactly.
So we got tickets everywhere.
Exactly. Let me say this to you, Jerry. Thank you for getting up this morning to come in to talk about this, because the things that we talked about is so utterly important to the community. And for your effortless work, I mean, that you put such effort, and I mean, it's like, oh, I can do this. But it takes a lot of coming together to continue to do what you do to make a difference right here at home. Thank you from Sonshine and Sonshine's Corner. If nobody else tell you face to face, I will. I appreciate your work, and I appreciate your continued work. And please, ladies and gentlemen, go out and support the cause. Get your tickets and come out to the event coming up on this Friday. Freedom is not free, and be there this Friday, okay? It's time for me to get out of here, but I tell you, when I get to talking about this, time goes so fast. I want to leave you as I do every single day, my dear friends. Never, ever, ever lose your focus. Never lose your focus. Always remember now, if you keep God first in any and everything that you do, and listen to God now, because somebody else gonna try to whisper in your ear. So until tomorrow at 9 o'clock, know that I love you with the perfect kind of love. Keep shining while I'm gone. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow morning right here on Sonshine's Corner.
Sonshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer.